raise your hands, if you're sure, zestfully clean. You're not truly clean unless you're zestfully clean. Yeah. Hello, everybody. Sirwalterj Jones Show. I'm here. It is the evening weekend edition. Say it, baby. How y'all is? Come on in. Oh, the water is fine. Ooh. It's killing me, but I'm still her favorite, and nobody spoke Elizabeth to give. I'm reading somebody's post here, and it was quite funny. Good to see it. Lana, you zestfully clean too? Raise your hands, Charlie. Raise your hands if you're sure. I wish I could get over there and play that because I feel the anointing in the room. Oh, raise your hand. Raise your hand if you're sure. Yeah. Man, boy, I tell you, I could take a commercial and Negroize it. Hello, everybody. I said that already. Yeah, a little bleach don't hurt. Donald, what's his middle name? J. Donald to the J to the Trump. Good to see you, Tam. He wants y'all to ingest. Now, people of America, hear me. Is that really what he said? Did he really tell the American people to take some Clorox bleach and go? Did he really say that? Did he really mean that? Huh? Did he really say that, Lonnie? Huh? Did he say that? Huh? Did he really say drink it? Because he said attack the body. You got to hit the body hard and open up your chest cavity and pour it in. Did he really say that? Huh? Vincent said, yeah, he did. Lord Jesus. Man, because I watched that thing a few times. Just finished gargling with a little bleach. Verbally. I watched that thing a few times, okay? Now, is that what he really said? Sharon, is that what he really, like, truly said? Was it implied? Or was it implied? Or did he see that? I hear people saying no. Dan said no. Tam said no. Okay, please don't do it. Vincent said, please don't do it. That means, is that what he really said? Because when you watch it, it seems to be implicit. That's the word. Implied that he was literally saying something about cleaning your innermost. He was more expressing wishful thinking. Yeah, see, that's what I thought. Dan, that's what I thought. It was implied sarcasm. Okay. Now, Tamara, I got a problem with that. I got a problem with your last word. Now, you say it was implied. Okay, I agree. The sarcasm, though, I don't know. I don't know. It's like who's that comedian talking about his father's curls? His curls just wouldn't. It just wouldn't. Yeah, that's another way of him trying to kill you. Yeah, I think the way most of the media handled it was dishonest. Yes, Deanne. Well, here's why the media handled it this way. Yeah, he said ingest, disinfect into your body. That's what James says. Okay. Here's the problem. Tim says, I hope he was sarcastic. Here's the problem with Donald J. Trump and the media and you. There are three parties involved. Y'all know I'm going to bring some psychological stuff in here. Ain't that how he do? It's going to be bigly. Okay? Yeah. I'm the greatest. I'm the chosen one. That's what he said. Wasn't sarcasm. He was serious when he asked his health officials about it. Okay, Elder Kevin McGee is onto something here. The actor says it was implied, but he's so childish it was wishful thinking, no impulse control. Bam! Elder and the actress got it. What y'all got, I don't know, but get a shot and wash your hands, okay? But the both of them, y'all got it. This right here is a psychological, this needs to be looked at in a psychological way. Y'all understand? This needs to be looked at psychologically. I'm trying to read y'all stuff. I'm trying to give y'all due benevolence, okay? This isn't a time to be sarcastic. We need a real leader who cares about all people. Deborah, the residence is an idiot who thinks he's on Deborah. All right? Your last name is Humble. Now watch this. This is it right here. There's 3 people affected in this, all right? Number 1, 3 people you got to look at. Bishop Jackson, good to see you, sir. Three things you got to look at. Number 1, look at Donald Trump. He's been with us since 2016. Okay. He has shown us that he has I believe, a cognitive decline. Because if you look at Donald Trump, the younger years, from the 80s and 90s, you see a very strong, robust, very smart, intellectual man who finishes full sentences. He even can say full paragraphs, okay? He might have messed up here and there with his money and cheated here and there, and, that's how he became rich, all right? But he still was smart, okay? He was smart. As he got older, he began to go into a decline, all right? Now, that decline has been our curse. Yeah, the portion of the president's mind that can judge the difference between A and B is certainly damaged along with his impulse control. That's it right there, all right? Barry Goldwater in the 1960s, they analyzed him the same way, all right? The same way. Those 2 guys are much alike, okay? Psychologists get in trouble for trying to analyze someone who's not been in their office. Trump fact check, and then I see disinfectant. Okay, yeah. Well, Amber just put it there. Okay, now, irregardless, is that a word? I know. I think that wasn't a word. I know we say that a lot, but I don't think it's a word. Regardless, I think it's regardless. It's not irregardless. That's not a word. Okay, regardless of what he said, you have to analyze Donald Trump as the man. You have to, Bishop Jackson, you got to analyze Donald Trump as the man and look at his track record not just since he's been the president, but prior to him being president, leading up into him running, we began to see who he is. Thank you, Annette. I thought it was regardless. We've been saying irregardless for years, generations. Okay? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter about his past life. Okay? So, leading up to him running for the presidency, here's what happened. He decided to run with the Republican Party. You understand? Okay? And the Republican Party, and many of them who follow after that party, how do I say this without offending all y'all? Because I got to. A pine, salt, and apple juice look alike. Yeah. I got to offend some of y'all, okay? Many African American or Pentecostal pastors voted for Donald Trump. I need you to know, okay? Now, since y'all are here, you don't know how to go to bed, I want you to put in the comments, why do you think African American pastors, Pentecostal pastors, why do you think they voted for Donald Trump? Number 1, and why do you think probably 80% or more of white evangelicals voted for Donald Trump? All right? If you analyze those 2 bodies of people, okay? Black Pentecostal preachers voted for him. Many of them did. And of course, all white evangelicals, all of them voted for Donald Trump. Can y'all put in the comments, why did those 2 groups vote for him? Because once you understand why those 2 groups voted for him, then you'll also understand why his approval rating with them stays up there. It never drops. Number 2, you'll understand why whatever he says, he farts, and it's the smell of Febreze to them. Yeah, conservative values of the Republican Party. Well, yes. Lonnie says they didn't want Hillary. This is true. Jacqueline said money. The answer is protection of their mega church 501c3. Come on. They did because thought he was a Christian and he can stop abortions and gay marriage. Who was that? Marcy. Yes. Lonnie says number 2, they thought they would get some money out of it. That is true. Amber says the abortion, same-sex issue, and they wanted the wall. Yes, y'all, all of y'all are correct. All of y'all are correct. Grady, Supreme Court choice. But the Supreme Court choice is coupled with everything that everybody else said. All right? Because the Supreme Court choice will help rid the abortion issue and possibly the gay issue. You understand what I'm saying? And then this whole thing with the church, he felt that the voters thought that this executive branch would help them build up their churches and have government out of the way of the church, separation of church and state. But it's backfiring because they don't realize that what Trump is doing actually is putting church and state closer together, not further away. Do y'all see this? Do y'all understand what I'm saying? Can y'all see? Again, separation of church and state. It's not really in the Constitution, but the spirit of the Constitution is a separation, freedom of religion, freedom of speech, okay? It was Thomas Jefferson, I think it was, who wrote that, all right? And it was the preachers back in his time was trying to get the government out of the church to protect the church from the government, pretty much, and vice versa. The United States walked away from a church state from Great Britain, walked away from that, separate the church from the government, and the government shall make no law to establish a governmental church. You understand? So the separate church and state has helped us, has blessed us, believe it or not. And then it came to it was there was a time where the government went to the church for help. The government went to the church for handout. When they was releasing somebody from jail, they turned those people over to the church. The government relied on the church to feed the hungry and the poor and what have you. The church. Y'all understand? Y'all understand what I'm saying? So separation of church and state was important. It was a blessing to us. But Donald Trump and his administration and this new Republican Party actually is bringing church and state together. And you don't understand. This is backfiring on you. No one has noticed that President Trump has done nothing about abortion or gay. No, he didn't. No. And he could serve for 8 terms. And it won't matter. It won't matter. Sip, drinking my Clorox smoothie. That's funny. Okay? I'm trying to tell y'all. I don't think y'all hear me. I don't think y'all hearing me. All right? FTO Kudo. What? You call my name. What you want? What you want? Okay? I don't think y'all getting it. So, what's happening? Fox News is state media. All right? That's what Fox News is. It's state media. That's why Trump he stopped doing interviews on CNN, MSNBC, and even the major affiliates. He just won't do it. Okay? Why you calling my name 3 times, Kudo? I don't understand. What? Okay? So he won't do it. But he'll do an interview with Fox because that's state TV. Y'all understand what I'm saying? All right, now, white evangelicals voted for him, and they believe everything he says and does. You understand what I'm saying? All right? They say, you my daddy. Okay, all right. I got a whole bunch of kids out there. Oh, yeah, I might be your daddy. I got so many kids out there. Come on home, son. Anyway, how did Fox decide it would go that way? Who owned them? What? How did Fox what? How did Fox what? How did Fox decide it would go that? I don't understand what you're saying. Tam says you might want to block this. Yeah, you know, we get these clowns. We get these clowns on my wall a lot, and I usually ignore them. I just usually ignore them. Where was that? Oh, yeah. So church and state is coming together. If you pay close attention, they're coming together. You understand what I'm saying? They're coming together. They coming together. So if you pay close attention, you'll see that his advisors are the right. The not just Republicans, but they are the right. They are conservative. That's what they are. All right, no. So when Trump said, when Trump said, I want you to, he made a suggestion to ingest this thing. So what happened? He looked over at the doctor, Dr. Burks, and you saw Dr. Burks' face. He also looked over at that other brother, the one who gave this medical thing about how the heat does what have you. Okay, now he was serious as a heart attack. Donald Trump. It wasn't jest. He was serious as a heart attack. Understand? Because we know how he talk. You understand what I'm saying? We know how he talk. Yes, Beatrice's face like flint. That's exactly it. So what happened? Sharon wearing song to be... Okay, all right. So what happened? I'm getting text messages from the church. They want... Anyway, it's too much going on. I should have put my phone on, what you call that? Do not disturb. Folks text me about tomorrow's service. Okay? So he was serious with a heart attack. And then what happened? They caught him off guard. They didn't catch him off guard. The news then ran with it. When the news ran with it, he was and was not talking to reporters. Right. Exactly. So when the news ran with it, then what was his comeback? What was his comeback? He was in his office with his hands folded. And he pretty much was saying, I was being sarcastic. I'm being sarcastic. So, if you go back in time with Donald Trump, from the time he was elected, notice the many times that he would say, I'm being sarcastic. Notice the many times. Even when he said, I'm the chosen one. And then the next day he says, oh, I was being sarcastic. It was jest. I was being funny, okay? Here's another time. Because they caught him with his pants down, all right? So now what's happening? He's deciding now not to do press conferences. Yesterday he did his press conference, but he would not take any questions. Why? Because he was embarrassed. And his advisors showed him how embarrassing that was. So, number one, did he want y'all to ingest bleach and what have you? With the kindness of my heart, I don't believe that he wanted y'all to ingest bleach at home. Because notice what he said. He says you're going to need a medical doctor. Did you hear what I'm saying? I did it for the fake news. Right. Notice what he said. He said, you're probably going to need a medical doctor to attack the body. Yes. So he's pretty much was saying, that's a good idea. And he says, he points to his head. He thinks he's a, what does he call himself? A genius. Okay. He pointed to his head and he was dead serious. So now here's the three people we need to analyze. Donald Trump as the man. The news media who, because they can't, and I understand the liberal media is fed up. They're frustrated with this man. They're absolutely fed up and frustrated with this man to the utmost activity. Okay, they're frustrated with him. So if they try to correct him, then the other people would think that he's picking. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? So so the right says, you're picking with my man. Yeah, he's Thursday, thank you. He's a stable genius. He's a stable genius. All right, now, here's what's happening spiritually, though. Spiritually. There is a strong delusion that has hit America. Travell said, deal with this distraction. I get these distractions all the time. It's just, you have to learn to ignore it. And people are free to inbox me if they want to. I'll send the people a care package when they come on here and anyway. a delusion. There's a strong delusion on the earth. Okay? Strong delusion. Now, 2 Thessalonians. Chapter 2 talks about a man. And who is this man? You've been saying it for 3 years, Travail. This man is a man of lawlessness. This man is a son of perdition. This is an antichrist. This is the antichrist I believe was talking about here. Now, this is not talking about Donald Trump, or it wasn't talking about Reagan. It wasn't talking about Hitler. Everybody think that the present person is the antichrist. Okay? So, this is talking about the antichrist, but I believe that the Lord is allowing a precursor. The Lord is allowing a precursor of what getting ready to happen. And he's allowing us to see it. He is. He's allowing us to see it. Very strong. Yes, it's a very strong delusion. Here's what the Bible says. Don't you remember that I told you about all this when I was with you? And you know what is holding him back? For he can be revealed only when his time comes. For this lawlessness is already at work secretly, and it will remain secret until the one who is holding it back steps out of the way. Then the man of lawlessness will be revealed, but the Lord Jesus will slay him with the breath of his mouth and destroy him by the splendor of his coming. All right? Then it says, verse 9. This man will come to do the work of Satan with counterfeit power and signs and miracles. He will use every kind of evil deception to fool those on their way to destruction because they refuse to love and accept the truth that would save them. So God will cause them to be greatly deceived. Who does this? Who does the deceiving? God, it says, will cause them to be greatly deceived, and they will believe these lies. Then they will be condemned for enjoying evil rather than believing the truth. That's what's happening here. I believe we're getting a precursor because Jesus says there will be many antichrists. Many. And they're right here in America. Many. Many of our leaders are anti-Christ. And the white evangelicals believe that Trump is the trumpet. Who was that? Who was that prophet who prophesied about Trump being the trumpet? He's dead now. Kim Clement, I think that was his name. Kim Clement was proven to be a false prophet because of the things he prophesied about Hillary Clinton that didn't come to pass, okay? And a couple other things. So when white evangelicals and some of you black Pentecostals, when you rally around one man for political reasons, then something happens up here with you. You become blind followers, and the Pied Piper blows his horn, and then something snaps inside of you, is what I believe. All right? It's what I believe. Kim Clement, yes. I'm trying to tell you. Something happens when you turn from God, when you don't read the scriptures, and then you follow after a man or a woman, and they are for some political, social, financial things that you need. So what happens? You begin to follow them because of the things they can offer you. And so then you have this sense of entitlement. This is what the Democratic Party did to many poor people. Yes, BW, reprobate. So you begin to follow after this leader. Mm-hmm. Yeah, hey, Kim, you was worried about me? Oh, I'm still here. Okay? You begin to follow after this leader. And then once you get horned in and locked into this leader, what happens next? You begin to believe everything that this leader says and do. Even when this leader turns left says some things that seems ridiculous, out of place, out of pocket. It's just way out of bounds. That's it, newness. You get spellbound to that person, and you can't smell. You can't smell the crooked, the lawlessness. You can't smell it. You can't see it. You understand what I'm saying? Yes. What? I'm serious. It's crazy. I know it's crazy. I know, Kim. I know. Yeah. So you can't see it. So you get horned in on that. And some of us were that way when we were coming up, and some of you are that way with your own pastors. I'm in trouble. Some of you are this way with your pastors. He cannot do any wrong. Prophet Jeremiah Johnson believes the trumpet theory. Yes, he sure do. He can't do any wrong. Your pastor. It doesn't matter what he says or what he do, because he or she have controlled your mind to a place where he or she did a Jim Jones on you. And Jim Jones was so powerful and so persuasive, good to see a window, that he was able to have all these people to fly over to an island called Guyana, and at the snap of a finger, all right, those people, he helped them to drink all of this Kool-Aid, this poison. I'm trying to tell y'all, and that's what's happening right now. Many people are drinking the poison because Trump got their minds. How did he have their minds? He had help. Who helped him? The prophets over on the white evangelical end, and some of the prophets on the black Pentecostal end. They began to speak to their people, and their people followed them, and their people believed these prophets and these teachers. And then when these prophets and teachers joined forces with the Republican Party, those people went over there, and then they began, whoever was the leader of that party, everybody joined forces. You understand? That's the rope-a-dope. That is the delusion here that we see here. So whatever party you in, you become tribal to that party. That's why many African Americans voted Democrat without studying the Democratic Party. You didn't know that it was the KKK who come through the Democratic Party. You didn't know that the Democratic Party gave us the Jim Crow laws and stopped us at the gates from trying to vote, register to vote. You didn't know all these things, or you didn't care. Just what your parents would say: don't do as I do, but do as I say. So you just voted Democrat because that's just the way it is, and they gave you stuff. So Jesus was going up and down the street, and the crowd was following him because he was doing an amazing work, and the people were hungry, and so y'all know the story of the fish, 2 fish and the 5 loaves of bread. The numbers cross sometimes, and he fed all those thousands of people. All right. He was feeding them, but at the same time, he was doing miracles throughout that area there as they were following him. And then he realized that they did not care so much about his miracles. All they wanted was to eat. They wanted food. They were hungry. And then Jesus offended them by saying, right, well, eat my body and drink of my blood. And then they said, that's nasty, Jesus, that's nasty. That's what's happening right here. The people who are following after this man, they're following after him because of how he's feeding them. And what is he feeding? Can y'all put in the comments there? What is he feeding them? So true, people don't research. Or you knew some of that about your party, and you voted the lesser of the two evils. That's exactly it. Because you are tribal to your party. So when we who are Christians join forces with all that which is political, all that which is of the world, we put so much stock in the political aspect. Here comes the strong delusion. Because what's happening? Notice white evangelicals. Notice on Sunday in their churches, they look like they get it all together until they leave their churches and go out into the streets. Then they put the Bible down and they put up their political gear. They become all political. All right, that's what they are. So evangelical now is not a word that when I was coming up meant someone who believed in the scriptures, in the text. Sometimes they will call them fundamentalists. All right, it doesn't mean that anymore. Evangelical now means a political party. That's what it is. It is a subgroup of the Republican Party or the conservative right. That's what evangelical means. That's why black people threw the name evangelicals out. We once were evangelicals. We're not anymore. We're just settled with Pentecostal. So when you hear evangelical, you hear white. But why? Because in the 80s, it became a political branch of the Republican Party. And it started with Ronald Reagan. And what's his name from the Thomas Road Baptist Church? His son now is the president of the Liberty University. In Lynchburg. Yeah. Trump was actually trying to sound brilliant and informed. Yep. The absurd part about it is that he believed his hypothesis until the nation showed him now ridiculous this premise is, and the whole world, even in Switzerland, are laughing. Yeah, even in Switzerland, they're laughing at him. He was serious as a heart attack. Perhaps the people who follow the false prophets' teaching aren't reading the Bible and don't have a relationship with God. And that's exactly it. That's my point, Nunes. There is no relationship with God. Jerry Falwell. Thank you, Stephen. There is no relationship with God. All right. So capitalism have overtaken them in evangelical area and some in the Pentecostal area as well. So when they wake up, they think capitalism, they think abortion, they think gay rights, they think Supreme Court, all right? They think all those things, and they don't really think about God. It takes them a while to even pick up a text. If you sit down and have a Bible study with the average evangelical, it will make you vomit. It will make you vomit because they know nothing about the Bible. And it's shocking to some of you for me to say this, isn't it? Why can't we just believe in Jesus and him crucified as the old... Come on, Tam. That's it. Yeah. He was feeding them pipe dreams. I'm trying to tell y'all, I lived among white evangelicals for many years, and when I would go to their Bible studies, I realized that I was the sharpest straw in the basket. Yeah. And I was trying to understand and learn it myself. I went to their Bible studies thinking that I was going to receive, and I was highly mistaken. Do y'all not understand it? And I know some of y'all might think that this is a racist rant right here, but the truth is the truth. You can call it racist, you can call it whatever you want to call it, bigoted, whatever. The truth is still the truth. Just like how God described the Jews, the Hebrews, all right? Was God a racist? He was trying to tell them who they were as a people. Paul talked about the Gentiles. Was he a bigot, a racist, a xenophobe? No, he was trying to tell them the truth. So I'm trying to tell y'all about many of the evangelicals that I sat with in Bible study, and I'm trying to tell you many of them knew nothing about the Word of God. Had no clue. Yeah, thank you. The sharpest tool in the shed. I heard it over here, but I heard straw of it. Okay? They have no clue. So, because they have no clue of the Word of God, a Donald Trump was birthed up amongst them. And then he began to play his horn, all right? He began to play his pipe, and they followed him. They just followed him. They followed him like robots. And he led them away from the Word of God. He led them away from social justice. He led them away from that, let them focus on a wall, and told them, don't let these nasty Mexicans over here, because they're doing this, they're doing this, they're doing this, doing this, okay? Put up that wall. and he wanted them to focus on that which was immoral, which is abortion is immoral, homosexuality is immoral, but you can take that which is immoral and captivate a person and insert other things into the immoral that's even worse than that. You understand? The woman who was praising Paul and Silas, Barnabas, saying, listen to these men, these are great men. Well, this woman was a witch, but she was trying to show her morality by praising these men who are men of God. But yet they were using her to make money through their soothsayings. Y'all understand what I'm saying? So it's easy to say I'm against abortion. That's one thing you're against, and thank God you're against that, and then bring all these other immoral, evil things with you, and you are now caught into a strong delusion. And I believe that the Antichrist is going to do the same thing. He's going to do moral things. He's going to do moral things. Who was the gangster of Chicago back in the 30s? Al Capone did moral things. He gave to the poor. He had soup kitchens and he gave loans and things like that and helped businesses. That's what Al Capone did during the day. Y'all understand? Do y'all understand what I'm saying? 45 fits right in. When asked about his favorite scripture, he couldn't name not one. Not one. He couldn't. They asked him, what's your favorite? No. They asked him about the Old Testament, New Testament. He says, both of them. You know, and then they asked him the most important question, which should have told the white evangelicals especially, this is not the man for the job. They asked him, do you owe God an apology? Do y'all remember when they asked him that question? He wasn't president then. He was running. Do you owe God an apology for anything? And out of this man's mouth, he says, no. I don't owe him an apology. Pretty much saying, I don't owe God anything. And guess what? November the 7th, 2016, they ran to the polls and voted for the man who says, I don't owe God nothing. What is that? That's called a strong delusion. God's permissive will is a force to be reckoned with. Yes, I'll take his perfect will, Alex, for 500. Yeah, that's it. Obama was used the same way. Yep, he exposed how pastors would turn a blind eye to his same-sex agenda just to have a black man in the office. I heard very powerful black pastors who I admired says, we need that black man in the office. Yeah, but he's for this, he's for... It doesn't matter. God will forgive him, but we need that black man in the office. So it's easy for us to say, I can't believe those white evangelicals did this. Knowing that this man did this on that bus, said I would put Tic Tacs in my mouth and grab their JJs and all this thing, and they still voted for him? Black folks did the same thing for Barack Obama. Sure did. And I say that all the time. I say it all the time. I didn't even vote for Barack Obama. Twice, I didn't vote for him. I didn't. Because of my values. I couldn't. He said he did more for Christians than Jesus. Yes, sure did. Then he said, I was playing. I was playing. The actors, they are blind. Deluded for sure. He does one of the things God hates. He lies constantly. His daddy is the father of lies. Yeah, that's true. He absolutely owes God, yes, apology. His father hated black folks. Hated y'all and didn't want y'all in his property. Yeah. So, I believe in my heart of hearts that Donald Trump said what he said on purpose, okay? On purpose with the bleach and the disinfectant. He said it because he really wants this thing to be over so that he can get back to the economy. All right? I get it. It's on his watch. It's a voting year. All right? So he says, find a way. But you got to understand the problem here. This man has a couple of psychological issues here. There's some psycho things going on that some of you got to realize. Every time he does something like this, stop being surprised. Stop being surprised. He's the same Donald Trump he was in 2015. He's the same one. Do y'all actually think he's getting better? People with mental illness don't get better without help. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? People with mental illness need to be treated, not voted in to be the most powerful man in the world, in the free world at least, all right? When you vote in a man that is mentally ill, he then turns into a autocrat, like the one they're saying who's dead right now. Kim Jong-un is probably dead today. We don't know. He might pop up tomorrow. We don't know, but North Korea is kind of weird, all right? All right, so that's why he loves Kim Jong-un, and he loves Putin, and he loves these autocrats, okay? He loves these men of power, all right? So, but he is the most dangerous man, dangerous leader in the world, the most dangerous leader in the world, because this is how Hitler came to power. This is how Stalin came to power. Idi Amin came to power, okay? All these leaders, they came to power. Something snapped in them, all right? And then once they get all these people to follow them, these people don't get better because they got yes men and yes women backing them. This is why Donald Trump can say the craziest things during a news brief, and his people allow him to say those things. Dr. Burke, Dr. Fauci, they can't say anything derogatory or against him because he's signing their checks. Understand? Fauci's just a little bolder. He's just a little bolder, but he backs up something. He'll say something, then he'll really back in because he don't know what to do. And Dr. Burks, when Trump asked her, and she was like, I don't know. I've never heard of that before. Then she turned to the man and said, and tried. That was her way out. She turned to that man and says, "Yeah, can you answer this for me?" Yeah, we are seeing textbook narcissism. And it's right in y'all's face, all right? So y'all voted in a businessman. And y'all loved it because he says that I am not a politician. And y'all loved it. But we needed a politician for a political job. Stop letting people get you into the polls and vote for people who says, I'm not a politician, not for the people. No, dude, we need a politician. You can't be in an office, an office where law have to be practiced. Do you not understand? Law have to be practiced. You don't put up a plumber into a law position. He don't know nothing about law. Do you get what I'm saying? And he failed as a businessman, right? So when you're bringing in somebody who says, I'm not a politician to a political position, you American people are the worst hirers. What's that office? What is that department that do the hiring and the firing? What is that? What is that little office? Y'all are the worst in hiring people. Why would you trying to hire someone who this is a Fortune 500 company. All right, is it HR? This is a Fortune 500 company, okay? And this position is now open. And this is a Fortune 500 company. So what do? You go out there and get somebody who know nothing about the company, and number two, somebody who filed for bankruptcy over and over again, and you put him in the CEO seat of a Fortune 500 company. That's what the American people did when they voted for Donald Trump. That's exactly what they did. And then he says, I don't know nothing. Can you imagine being the boss of your corporation and then somebody will knock on your door and say, hey, listen, I don't know nothing about this company. I don't know nothing about what do y'all do here? This is a hospital? Okay, I don't know nothing about this. I don't know nothing about medicine. I don't know nothing about the body. But I will tell you, I drive Uber and Lyft. I know a lot about cars. Oh man, I tell you, I know all the streets. I know all of the side streets and all of the. Oh, I'm telling you, I'd be perfect for this job at this hospital. Now, what is the body? What is that? Oh, okay. What's a red blood cell? I've never heard of that. Okay, you're perfect for the job. Congratulations. Come on in. That's what the American people, literally, that's what you did. He says, I am not a politician for a political position. And y'all said, come on in. You're hired. Yeah, Bricks looked so disturbed by the words coming out of his mouth. Yes, you're hired. Come on in. Come on in. At least when you voted for Barack Obama, he at least went to Yale. He at least was the president of, was it Yale or Harvard? Which one was it? It was the Harvard? He went to Harvard, and he was over the Harvard Law Review. The first black president of the Harvard Law. All right? He was a constitutional expert. Hello! And he was running for the position where when you raise your right hand, you are supposed to defend that document called the Constitution. That same one. I just don't understand. Do y'all understand what y'all did to us? I get nervous when Fauci talks. It's like watching a soulful rise. What's that? Just one bad move and it fall down. Yeah, I know. It's messed up, y'all. We jacked up. I'm gonna call y'all Jack and put y'all in a box and then Jack in the box. That's a good idea. I'm gonna open up a restaurant. Call it Jack in the Box. So we messed up. All right. So then he says, I was being sarcastic. Wait a minute. Fox News and all of these other people said, that's not what he said. He didn't say that. He didn't say that. But when Trump's, the next day he says, I did say that, but I was being sarcastic. So which one is it? Which one is it? Your people saying you didn't say that. Next day you're saying I did say that, but I was being sarcastic. And he boo-booed on his people. He boo-booed on them, so they had to find another defense. Look at the governor of Georgia. The governor of Georgia. What is his name? Jack Paul. I don't know. What's his name, okay? Donald Trump and the governor of Georgia and these other governors, they was like, yeah, let's do this. Let's put these people in the street. Yeah, Yeah, thank you. Souffle. You know what? I don't think I've ever seen that word spelled. I've never seen it spelled. Thank you, Tam. That's souffle. I've never seen that word spelled in my 50-something years. So, Kemp, thank you. Kemp, Trump, and the other Republican governors, they were like, yeah, let's come together. Let's push some of these folks who live by a Cracker Barrel. Let them run in the streets with picket signs to open up governments. Okay, all right, let's do that. And then Kemp decided to open up the state of Georgia, and guess what Trump did? Oh man, I'm trying to tell y'all. When you keep following these people, they gonna turn on you like some breed of dogs. When I came up, they told me that Doberman pigeons turn on their masters. All right, that's what they told me. Okay, I'm yet to find out that to be true or not. All right. So what did Donald Trump do? He pulled down his pants and dumped on Kemp. Yes, he did. He says, I don't agree with him opening it. I highly disagree with him opening up the state of Georgia. And it left Kemp with stuff on his face. So what did Kemp do? He had to continue this thing because he didn't want to look silly. He didn't want to look silly. So he said, let's continue this. And he's sweating bullets because he like the president turned on him. Yes. So what did it leave those other governors of the other Republican states? It made them nervous too because Trump could possibly turn on me too. Trying to tell you, he turned it. Todd Tribbett. Damn. Turned on him. Why? Strong delusion. When you continue to follow after chaos will be followed. You understand? When you keep doing that, you're now in a portal of darkness you can't see. And God has turned you over to a reprobate, many of you, and you don't even know that he did. All right? So, did Trump say these things? Yeah, he said it. He said it. Did he mean it? Well, yeah, he meant it. He meant it, but he meant it in his own deluded way. You understand what I'm saying? He meant it in his own deluded. Is that the word? I'm bad with words today. He meant it in his own jacked up way. Yeah. Because notice how he said it. Doberman's not vicious. Ron Kelly said. Notice what he said. The way he was talking to those doctors, okay, he was trying to show them that I'm smart, I'm intelligent. All of the generals say I am. I know more than the generals, all right? He said people don't know that. People are always amazed that I know so much about this coronavirus. Man, they wonder what college, university, what degrees I have. That's what Donald Trump would say. They don't understand how a genius of I am, a man of I am. So when he was talking to Burke and that other guy, he was making suggestions, and in his mind, in his diluted world, demented, thank you, in his demented world, he, in his world, was saying to himself, I'm getting ready to knock them out. Ooh, I'm getting ready to get them with this one. Ooh, they going to love me. I'm going to be elected another time. And I'm telling you, this is going to really make me the greatest president ever. I'm getting ready to upstage the doctors. And then he turned to Burke and that other brother and said what he said. In his mind, that was brilliant. Sharon said with his dumb self. The problem is that 45 thinks he's like God. Yeah. There's a phrase called the God complex. Donald Trump has a God complex, and he is he thought he was being brilliant, and he is pretty much a king. All I want to know is which stable did he come from? Stable genius. Yeah, he's pretty much a king. Right? He thinks he's a king because, number one, he came in the office a non-politician, which means if he's a non-politician, he knows nothing about the law. He knows nothing about the Constitution. He won't even read it. His advisors can't even force him to read it, inspire him to read it. They just won't. They won't. Matter of fact, they said they have to, in his briefings, they have to put his name in every other sentence so that he would read the daily briefings. That is the sickness that he has, okay? So, because he knows nothing about that stuff, he thinks that that the Constitution gives him exclusivity, gives him the right to do and say whatever he wants to and do, and he has diplomatic immunity to all laws. That's why he was trying to run. That's why he was running so hard to be the president, because he had lawsuits out there. So once he came into the White House, then there is a umbrella of protection over him. There's a hedge of protection on the president of the United States. It doesn't matter what he did prior to him becoming a president. There's a hedge of protection. As long as he's in there, he's protected. He's in a bubble. And he knew that. But he knows nothing about the law, which makes him think that he is a king. And that's why he says, I can tell the governors what to do with their states, even though the Constitution says, sorry, you're wrong. He won't even read it. He can't read it. It's called the Dunning-Kruger effect. It's a cognitive bias in which people with low ability at a risk, at a task, overestimate their ability. It is related to the cognitive bias of illusory superiority. Every time I try to read it, y'all come in. And comes from the inability of people to recognize their lack of ability. Of what? Oh, ability. Amber, there it is. She just schooled y'all. Okay. Yes. Lashona says he has a Luciferian spirit. Yep, sure do. There it is. There it is. When you are dumb, but you believe you are intelligent, you feel no need to learn anything or listen to anyone. That's right. So, white evangelicals, then, what does they say about them when they are praising a mentally ill patient, okay? And when they praise him to the point where his approval rating is that high, what does that say about white evangelicals? And what does that say about the black pastors? What does that say? 2 Thessalonians. Here it is. There's a strong delusion that even the most intelligent beings among those two groups, many of them have master's degrees and bachelor's and PhDs, okay? And yet, he could do no wrong. Why? There's a strong delusion. Tam says it says they're idiots. Yeah, it's a strong delusion. And it makes you wonder, how could someone get up every morning and be so intelligent to buy homes and cars and invest in the stock market and go to school for 4, 5, 6, 7 years, okay, raise up children and be successful in life, become millionaires, and follow blindly after an autocrat? How is that possible? Strong delusion. And this is what God was saying through the Amos. I repeat Amos a lot. Isaiah, we're going to do tomorrow. Habakkuk, Micah, Malachi. All these prophets that God sent. He was talking to intelligent people. Intelligent. They are extremely intelligent and dumb as rocks. And this is why God punished them as harsh as he did, because you should know better. How are you able to do all these wonderful things and then turn around and say the dumbest things and believe the dumbest things? And this is why God calls unbelievers, he says, a fool says in his heart, there is no God. You have got to be the dumbest human I have ever created to believe that I don't exist. Y'all want me to read that? Those are the words that God said. He said, y'all have got to be the dumbest. Y'all have got to be the dumbest humans I've ever made to believe that I don't exist. You got to be. He said here, but God shows his anger from heaven against all sinful, wicked people who suppress the truth. They suppress the truth by their wickedness. They know the truth about God because he has made it obvious to them. God showed it to you unbelievers. He made it obvious to them. Okay? Forever since the world was created, people have seen the earth and the sky. Through everything God made, they can clearly see his invisible qualities. Come on. He says his eternal power and divine nature. So they have no excuse for not knowing God. No excuse. Yes, he says they knew God, but they wouldn't worship him as God or even give him thanks. And they began to think up foolish ideas of what God was like. As a result, their minds became dark and confused. Claiming to be wise, they instead became utter fools. I'm in Romans chapter 1, Sharon. Romans chapter 1, start at verse 18. And instead of worshiping the glorious, ever-living God, they worshipped idols. The Republican Party, the Democratic Party, the White House, the presidency. They worship idols made to look like mere people and birds and animals and reptiles. So God, what did he do? He abandoned them to whatever shameful things their hearts desire. So whatever you want, God says, you can have it. The people wanted a king. God says, you don't need a king. What's wrong with me? And they said, the other people got a king. Why can't we have one? And God gave them King Saul. Whatever you want, you can have it. And as a result, they did vile and degraded things with each other's bodies. They traded the truth about God for a lie. So they worshiped and served the things God created instead of the creator himself. They worshiped the creation instead of God, who was worthy of eternal praise. So that is why God abandoned them to their shameful desires. Even the women turned against the natural way to have sex and instead indulged in sex with each other, and the men, instead of having normal sex, sexual relationship with women, burned with lust for each other. And then it goes on and on. Strong delusion. It's just a delusion. Or is it an illusion? Anyway. He gave them over to their own imaginations. And there you have it. You black preachers and you white evangelicals. And there it is. And some of you black people voted for Donald Trump. He gave you over to your own imagination. You are walking in a delusion. You are the walking dead right now. That's the way it is. All right. So could God have sent Donald Trump? Absolutely. Sure. He sure did. He sent the Chaldeans. He sent the Babylonians too. He sent Nebuchadnezzar. He sent Pharaoh. So he sent King Saul. He told them what Saul was going to do to them. He said, but I have anointed him. Go ahead and take him. All right. So the Amorites, the Jebusites, he sent the Philistines. God sends this. God's the one that creates this disaster. King James says he creates evil. God's the one that sends pestilence. All right. God sent the coronavirus. God sent these things. He did this. You think the devil did this? The devil did that? The devil ain't got all that power. God gives him permission to do whatever he does. Job, who you think attacked Job? The devil had to go to God for permission to attack Job. He said, go ahead, have your way. He said, but can't touch his body, can't take his life. You can touch his body, but don't take his life. Don't do it. And then what did the devil say? I can't do nothing with him because you got a hedge around him. You protecting him. I can't do it. And God said, okay, I'm gonna take my hands off of him. I'm gonna take my hand off him. All right, but go ahead and have your way with him. And the devil says, all right, good. He's going to turn on you. And then the devil had to come back. Hey, God, yeah, he ain't turning on you. I don't want to. His wife, she crazy enough to do it. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. I'm trying to tell you. So whatever you want, God says, no problem. I'll turn you over to it. Go ahead. Have your way with it. I sent this strong delusion to you. Trying to teach you a lesson, and with the hopes that you'll come running back to me. Running back to you. I see you're standing there for me. Your arms are open wide. Who's that? And I don't have to cry no more. I'm running back to you. Yeah, man, that's who's that? Is that Commission? Man, I can tell you I should play that right now, but my keyboard's too far away. Man, that's what God wants you to do. Rona got y'all running back to him. He closed down the churches and y'all at home. You're shaking. You're having a junkie itch because you want to hear the choir sing. He got the junkie. And God said, Here I am. Here I am to worship. All right? Where y'all at now? All right? He put y'all in your bunkers. Okay? And now you got to run to the Lord. Yeah. Come on, run to me. Come to me. I'm right here. You really don't have to run to God. I know y'all got that song, I'm chasing after you. You don't have to chase God. You don't have to. Because the other song says, he was there all the time. He's knocking at the door. He ain't running. I beat the devil running, and I'm so glad. Why y'all out there running? Stop running. Running with the devil or from the devil. You beat the devil running. Was you in the front? I mean, if he was chasing you, I don't understand. I don't get it. Don't run. Be still and know I am God. Sit down. Be quiet. Sit your butt down and listen to the Lord speak. He's speaking. You ain't got to chase. You ain't got to chase nobody. We got all these bipolar songs, Tam. We got all these bipolar songs. I'm confused. Should I chase after you, or do I run after you, or do I beat the devil around? What am I doing? So Paul says we're running a race, but this kind of race is not what you think. All right, come on, y'all. The building is there. Yeah, Savior. Come on, Sharon. Yes, behold, I stand at the door and knock, Grady. I'm knocking. Who is it? Yeah, it's the plumber. I come to fix the sink. All right? You got to be at least 45 to understand what that is. Okay? Not the president. I'm talking about 45 years old. Okay? Yeah, all right? All right? All right. I was only going to go 5 minutes today. I'd be lying when I say to myself, I'm going to do a 5-minute show. And then I prove myself to be a lie. I'm a false prophet. Now you have to seek God for yourself, Sharon. I told y'all a couple of weeks ago, the Pope got the Catholics praying to God finally, directly. Sharon said, you always lying. Yep. The Pope says, the churches are closed now. There is no priest there for you to say, Father, forgive me for I have sinned. No, he says, now you got to go to Jesus for yourself. You got to go to Jesus for yourself. Yeah. And the Pope finally, in the first time in Catholic history, preached the gospel of Jesus Christ. He said, y'all go to Jesus for yourself because we close. Climbing up the mountainside, of the mountain, but yeah, that's it, rough side. But he'll make the crooked place straight and rough place. Come on. Tam. That's it. I'm coming up or climbing up. All right, yeah, electric company. Yeah. I come to fix the sink. Was that electric company or was that Sesame Street? You know, sometimes you get them mixed up, okay? The electric company, hey, you guys! And then, come on and zoom, Come on and zoom. I'm Bernadette. Wait, or was that the Mickey Mouse Club? Now it's, I get them all mixed up. My whole childhood is just mixed up, okay? All right, I'm going to cast that lion demon out of you. All right, y'all. I haven't had dinner. I'm going to go. The 54 of y'all, you left. If you hit the share button, you'll share the gospel throughout the world and the hemispheres all over the place. The earth is the Lord's, the world, and all you folks that dwell in there. Yeah, go ahead and have your way. Share it. 53 of y'all left. Share it. Let the people know that come out of Lodebar. You in a place where God has walked away from. That place is called, what's that place called, y'all? Ichabod. Yeah, Ichabod. The glory of the Lord has departed. I don't want to live in the state of Ichabod. And I don't want to live next door to Lodebar. I don't want to live in them places. The glory of the Lord shall fill this place. As for me and my house, we shall worship the Lord. Hey, Alexa, say goodnight to the people.
Sorry, I'm not sure.
You back not saved again? We just saved her yesterday. I can't put my... Only what you do for Christ will last. Remember only what you do. I'm looking for my box of tissues. Will last. Okay, it's gone. Somebody stole my tissue. All right, well, I guess... Can y'all send me a box of tissue? My CashApp is Sirwalterj. Sirwalterj. And send me a box of tissue because I'm out. It's just gone. Baby girl, where you at? Baby girl, are you home? Baby girl, she ain't here. So I got to use my roll. I got my scroll. This is the Holy Scroll. All right, y'all. Yeah, got to go. Hit the share button. I love y'all. See you tomorrow at Sunday School, 9:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Right here on the Sirwalterj Show.